Welcome to another Gaz Right video. Welcome back to the Australia series, and we're in the absolutely sensational, scintillating and a little bit sexual Brisbane, often described as the Manchester of Australia. We're going to be taking you through the full itinerary, the best things to do, places to go, places to eat, and a few hidden little secret spots as well. We've had a sensational 4 days exploring here. There's a little bit of everything in terms of like the city life, but also a couple of trips out of the old city, a little bit of national park action, and of course to the infamous Australia Zoo, to the main man, Mr. Steve Irwin. If you enjoy what you see, hit the subscribe button. We're on daily vlogs at the minute, en route to 2K subs. Let's get cooking, baby. One of the top, if not the number one thing to do coming to Brisbane is, of course, go to Australia Zoo, founded by one of the legends of the wildlife, aquatic, wilderness scene, Mr. Steve Irwin himself. We've just been there this morning. I was going to do a section of the vlog on that, but it's actually so much to see and do. I'm going to do a separate video on it. Like, there's everything under the sun. Like, they've got, I'd probably say the best bits are like the meerkats, the crocodiles, they've got tigers, cheetahs. It's unbelievable, super interactive. You can actually go into certain pens like the kangaroos and stuff, feeding different animals. It is phenomenal. So I would say if you're into a bit of your wildlife, if you're in Brisbane, that is an essential bit of kit. You do need a car to get there. It's about an hour's drive. And then we've paired it with what we're just about to do now, which is a hike. There is a circuit route. I'll overlay the name now because it's like Tibegamma. That is absolutely assassinating, the pronunciation, but apparently this is a grade 4 serious walk. You can do the circuit route, which is a bit easier. We're going to go and do the summit hike, which I've just heard somebody in the car park say they attempted and they had to turn back because they didn't have climbing gear. So we'll see how far we can get. We're literally in shorts, t-shirt, Asics trainers, and our matching Australia tops. If there's anything of note, if there's anything severe in terms of the old hike, I'll let you know. I'll check back in, and hopefully we've got some flare views up at the old top, baby. You glad you did that climbing course, Bateman?
Yeah, it was.
Should I go left or right?
Okay.
Take your
just
pick.
like Thanks very much. Enjoy your challenge.
Is it right?
I can't go back down there, guys.
Oh.
No,
Okay.
that was scary coming up.
You sort of find
25 minutes into the hike, we've got these beautiful views. However, the route to the top is treacherous. You actually need to be a mountain goat to get up there. Thoughts?
Yeah, not for me, honestly. Normally fine with stuff like that, but I was literally like mid-climb and I was like panicking, but got there in the end. But yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, this is definitely not a walk. I think a lot of times you've seen these in the past where it's like, oh, it's a tough walk, it's a tough climb. It's a climb. Like there's like that's the path on the way down, and then that's the path on the way up. Like there's nothing walking about that. It's a pure climb. So we're gonna cut our losses here. We're gonna get the drone up, see what we can see from above. But yeah, I think if going up would have been difficult but okay, coming down, even just that little section we just came down then, was difficult.
Yeah, I think it's a dangerous one.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I think let's call it a day. Sensible. We'll go and do some walking. Let's stick to what we're good at.
Yeah, we'll stick to what we know, up in the sky. Enjoy the views, baby.
Yeah.
Walk, boxed off Tibegamma route. We could only do the circuit, 3.2k, and then we added the Trachea route on. I'll overlay the names, obviously, either now or before, as we've kind of been exploring. If you are going to do the climb, the summit, it is extremely difficult. It is a climb, not a walk. The amount of times, if you watch your channel for a while, where I will always be like, oh, people have turned back, no chance, we'll do it. Went up Mount Fansipan and stuff in Vietnam earlier this year. That is a climb, like that's not a walk. So do come prepared. The views though, obviously sent the drone up and it was just absolutely breathtaking scenery. We're like the people we chatted to were like, oh, you've like, they were making out as if we're like halfway or a quarter of the way. We were about 10% of the way up, so it was a good idea to turn back because yeah, the scenery, the height, the severity of it was absolutely outrageous. And hopefully you can see that from the crispy drone shots at the minute. And then obviously into the distance, you've got like different like farming, different peaks. It's just unbelievable here. Super, super peaceful. So when we came down, we thought we'd do the circuit route and then add on that trachea route. That's what you get in your throat, so it's probably not that. But that's super, super easy, super flat the whole way round. Just kind of like walking through woodland, really nice underfoot. So that one is extremely gentle, undulating, super, super nice. And then there's one little bit where you could go up 100 meters to a lookout. Definitely do that because the views there were absolutely scintillating. We were getting the JPEGs, the MP4 files straight into the old bones. Better whack the sunglasses on because I cannot see a thing with that sun coming down. But we've got a little sunset coming down in the distance now. Beautiful little walk. It was about 8.5 kilometers in the end. The circuit, easy. You're going up to the top. Make sure you are prepared, but enough of exploring. Actually, if you are going to do it, you will need a car to get here. We did the mystery car, so obviously it worked out pretty well because we ended up with a BMW, which is obviously top drawer. But yeah, cars for the day, you're probably looking at about £70 plus petrol in the mix, but beautiful scenery. We saw about 3 people the whole way around, and yeah, just an absolute silly day, but enough exploring. Let's get you back to the city and back to doing what we do best, baby. Back in the city, the urban metropolis, the absolute mix-warring arm that is Brisbane city centre. Lots of people have described it as the Manchester of Australia, and definitely getting that vibe. It's a super, super active place. Lots going on, lots more like businesses, and like a lot more of like an urban landscape than places like Cairns, Darwin, and I guess the Gold Coast did have a bit of that, but that kind of got a bit more of like holiday vibes, a lot more like city vibes here, a lot more, yeah, big businesses. You get like the centre of London vibe as well, so it's super, super cool. We've been exploring for about 2 or 3 days now, so I take you around some of the cool little spots. If going to Australia Zoo is a little bit too far, you don't want to hire a car, you could go to Lone Pine, like koala sanctuary. They do have some kangaroos there. Obviously we're not going to do both, so that seems a little bit overkill on the koalas, but if you do want to see some of the old furry fellas, get yourself over there. It's about 15-18 minute taxi from the centre of Brisbane, depending on where you're staying. We're right in the CBD, and it's a lovely little spot where we are. Checked out the old Botanical Gardens. You can sit out there, a little free activity, sun coming down through the trees, lovely little spot just right on the riverfront. Playing a little bit of cards, you've got nice little water features, and then obviously, yeah, as it opens up, you've kind of got all the huge sort of multi-storey buildings. It's about a 4-minute walk from the CBD, so you are right in the absolute mixer there. But yeah, lovely little spot, free activity, so definitely check that out, get it ticked off the list. And like I say, yeah, you're looking at a little bit of everything there. You have obviously the Botanical Gardens that you're in, but then wider afield, obviously you have the urban space, and then obviously the river, and into the distance as well. So a lovely little spot to kick off the day, and I get you straight into a little room tour, show you where we're staying before going up to the old Mount Coot-Tha lookout point. Brisbane apartment tour time. I'm going to get straight in the absolute mixer into the old spare bedroom. Huge space on this one. This is where the general will be calling home. Big walk-in wardrobes, sliding wardrobes. Luckily, the general's got enough clothes to fill that. And yeah, kind of a bit of a niche setup, to be fair. You're looking straight out. I guess it's so you get some natural light there. But yeah, straight into the living room. Luckily, they do have some curtains if you want an early night. All the accommodations in Australia, we've been paying like £40 to £50 a night. Brisbane and the Gold Coast have been the most expensive. So on the upper end of that, it goes without saying, if you want to save some money, staying in a hostel is probably going to be your way forward. But Liv was telling us, hostels are not the best, especially if you've been on the old Southeast Asia circuit. However, it does come with a washer dryer, so the team do need to get our garms sorted and back in the game. Not sure how much chefing up we'll be doing, but you do have a lovely little kitchen action here. And the team obviously chilling in the old living area. We're on the 15th floor. Some say we're at the tippity top. We're only halfway up. Tiny little workstation, a bit of the old editing done. And then the master bedroom, which is on the small side. I'd say a very aesthetic apartment. I wouldn't say it's the biggest, to be honest. Like, I mean, there's not a huge amount of space. You can't really open your suitcase in here. But obviously, yeah, flare views outside. So yeah, it'll do the old job. See what the test is on the bed. It's actually pretty bloody comfy, to be fair. So we'll take it. Mount Coot-Tha lookout point. It is an absolutely essential bit of kit if you're going to come to Brisbane. Beautiful views over the hills, the scenery, but let's get you straight up in the old drone and less of looking at my face, just slowly caressing straight into the old retinas. It's a gorgeous landscape. Obviously, as you come over, you get to the top, there's a really big lookout space where you can get nice photos, nice JPEGs, nice photos and videos just on your phone. It's really high up, and they've got like the tree line. It's way above the tree line, so you can see right into the distance into the city itself. They've got a huge cafe, coffees, beers. If you want something a little bit more formal, a little bit more filling, there's loads of different food options in there as well. If you fancy a little sweet treat, they've also got something for you. And as we kind of like pan round and overlook into the city itself, it's just an absolute ridiculous juxtaposition. On one side, obviously, you have the urban landscape. On the side where the lookout is, you have the sprawling hills and greenery, which is just an absolute naughty little number. As I said before, I think the city itself here is really cool, very Manchester-esque, and it also gives me a very sort of central London vibes, like city of London, and like Canary Wharf, some of the high rises, and then obviously the river running down through the old right-hand side. But yeah, I feel as if anywhere I go in the world, I'm always a sucker for a beauty of a viewpoint, a sunset. They're always going to be my favourite different things, so you can combine the two. You're on to a winner. We've got a nice bit of sun here today, and again, I don't need to tell you the weather in Australia is banging. We're in the depths of winter. We're looking at about 23, 24 degrees, so it's absolutely plenty for a pasty northerner like myself. But yeah, silly views, silly atmosphere, place to get a drink, chill, relax. I actually got a taxi up here, which cost me 12 quid each way. Well, I've got to get it back as well from the CBD. If you do want to come here and save a little bit of money, you can walk, but it's like 11 kilometres, or you can get public transport. I've not tried to get the bus yet. Tried to get it a couple of days ago, but you have to have like a specific card or buy a ticket from a certain point, not the actual bus. So if you are looking to do that, do it ahead of time, otherwise, yeah, you will get stuck. I might try to get the bus down, but I think I'm going to be in the exact same position. So yeah, the Coot-Tha lookout, absolute banger, essential bit of kit. Get it on the list, the G-Dub seal of approval. See what we get to next, baby. Peace. It wouldn't be a Gaz right tour of a city if we didn't get a brewery in the mix. We're at 4X or quadruple X, depending on how you pronounce it. I'm told it's said like 4X, so we're gonna get straight in the mixer. You can do brewery tours here, but I thought, you know, we're a little bit pushed for time, so we're just gonna be flying around, getting the staples, getting the fan favorites. I've gone for the original here on the left-hand side. In the middle, we've got the Lashes, which is the pale ale, on the stout on the right-hand side. I'm gonna guess I'll like the stout the most because that is my bread and butter, my favorite bit of kit. If you want a little session number, the Lashes is probably the one to go for. However, this is over 150 years old, the original one they brewed. If it's been around that long, it has to be a good little number. We'll taste test for the boys. You know what? I'm not a huge lager drinker. Bit of fizz, yeah, tell you what, plays ball. Give me that little 7 out of 10. Lashes pale ale. Interesting. You know what, I thought I was going to absolutely love the Lashes. I had one, the 4X on the Gold Coast a few days ago. I'm going to overlay the name now because I forgot it. Basically, I have two very similar on the pale ales. I would go for the other one over the Lashes personally. Nothing wrong with it, but I just think I prefer the original to this. Hopefully, this is the Pierre de Resistance. Just look at that bit of kit. I'm getting notes of absolute naughtiness from that little smell. Ten out of 10. These two play ball, we can get a little session going. However, this is unbelievable. Chocolatey, notes of coffee in there as well. Super smooth. Wish I just got 3 of these now. Wouldn't be a good video, but oh boy, that is unbelievable. Definitely get that. You've got to go for the original because you've got to try it, and then I would go for the other pale ale. Again, I'll overlay it so you know which one to get. You can get the smaller cups or you can get the schooners, $23, which is what, about £11 for 3 different drinks. So pretty decent. When you're a little brewery, when it's a specialised place, I would literally just drink all the porters they have on offer. That's a banger. Brewery boxed off, and I don't often come back for a second review. However, the 4X Brewery deserves an extra step up on the old ladder. Phenomenal service in there. It's pretty cool. They're all dressed as like tradies. So the guy like caught me off guard at first because I was like, I don't know if he's work here or like, yeah, doing some like electric work or whatever, but super friendly, super nice staff, service out of this world. He was just chatting to me a little bit. It wasn't too busy in there. Lovely little setup, loads of space inside, outside, and like little games and stuff like foosball you can play. But he was like, oh, like what are you doing? Because I took my mics out and stuff, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to record a little bit for my old YouTube channel. Came over and he was like, we don't have any squash or anything for a palate cleanser. However, gave me a little hooch to keep me ticking over in between the beers. So super friendly, super nice staff. Would 100% recommend going there if you're coming to Brisbane. And yeah, for me, the porter was the Pierre de Resistance. Phenomenal bit of kit. The other two played ball, but yeah, for me, the porter is the drink of the moment. Gonna go check out the river down towards little parks in the old centre, but I thought they deserved a little bit more because that was customer bloody service. Cheers! Just walking, talking in the old Southbank area. They have the Brisbane Eye, which is the London Eye off wish.com. They've got a little Brisbane sign, however, it's all closed off, no entry behind me. I thought this is a bit more of like a picnic, chill out, have a few drinks, sat out area. Not the vibe at all, to be 100% honest. So I'm gonna get you straight in the sky. I've literally put the drone at risk to try and get these shots you're seeing now. Sent it straight up and flew it in sport mode between all the bridges and stuff. The scenery here, obviously you saw it on the lookout point earlier, is absolutely phenomenal. Do you know what I mean? You have obviously the river, the green space, and then on the other side you have obviously all the big buildings, the big businesses, the old urban landscape. It is absolutely phenomenal. And then yeah, like I say, the green space here, I don't think you can actually sit out. It's all kind of cordoned off, so it is more a just walking down the river sort of vibe. It is, I'm not even joking, nearly a carbon copy of Southbank in the UK. But I guess generally I'd say Brisbane is more like a Manchester vibe. So you know what I mean? Hopefully Sydney is the Pierre de Resistance. I've used that word about 5 different times in this vlog so far. What does it mean? I don't know, but it is bloody flair. But yeah, it's a lovely little spot. Nice bit of greenery, nice bits of flare landscape, flare bridges, and a lot going on. We're just catching a bit of the old sunset now, do you know what I mean, sun just cascading down, getting the last bit of vitamin D in the old bones, and then we're going to hopefully go for a few more beer waries and see where the night takes us. As always, if you have any questions, bang them down in the comments, respond to every single message down there. However, just a little pre-outro analysis. It's a lovely little spot. Do you know what I mean? Brisbane, phenomenal city so far. A good amount to see, lots to explore, good outside stuff, and yeah, just a super nice calming atmosphere. I'd say that is the big difference, what I've seen so far. We've not been to Sydney, to be fair, so it might be a little bit different there, but the difference from the UK to here is that you have a similar like landscape, but it's just, everyone is just a lot more relaxed, a lot more chilled, a lot more friendly, apart from if you're in the north and everyone's bloody friendly up there, shout out the boys. But yeah, it's just a sick place, to be fair. So anyone that is telling you not to come to Australia is gatekeeping it, because it seems like a banger so far. But the full analysis will come tomorrow, the day after, and when we're in Sydney and checking that out, because yeah, it is growing on the GDO's list of countries day by day. Sunset in the bones, vitamin D in the bones, see where the night takes us, hopefully a few more beer waries. Outro time, baby. It's been an absolute hell of a 4 days exploring it, getting amongst it in the old Brisbane, so would definitely recommend. But let's just get some concluding thoughts out on the old table. So there's a few things that we did miss off. Stradbroke Island is one thing that I think if you were coming here as like a designated holiday, I would definitely do. It looked amazing. There's a few local people who told us as well that is the place to go to. It just made, it's about 2 hours away. You have to hire a car and stuff. So we thought, from a financial standpoint, because we're absolutely blowing the socks of our budget day by day that we're in Australia, we thought, you know what, we'll just rein that back a little bit. Felons Brewery is somewhere we went on the first day. I didn't take any videos or anything, just thought we're chilling. But if you are partial to a beer, it was a Monday night and there's probably over 1,000 people in there. It looked unbelievable, buzzing atmosphere, right on the river, and all the beers were top draw as well. So in terms of like Brisbane itself, what we've done, what we've explored, where we've been to, I would definitely recommend it. I'm going to try and get across this road here before I before I get run over. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it. There's so much to see and do. I think 5 days, to be honest, is absolutely perfect. So you kind of have 5 nights, sorry, 4 full days. I would 100% do the zoo. Phenomenal, phenomenal. If I came and did it again, I would probably do a whole day there, so you're not as rushed. We did a half day. We saw everything we wanted to see, but do you know what I mean, there was more shows that we could have done later in the day. And I would also probably just go and do a day of hiking in the Glass Mountains. There's so many different places to go to and explore. If you are going to do the one that we attempted, just beware, it is a hike. It is a climb, not a hike. But yeah, that was silly good. So you can even go and do a couple of the circuit hikes, which is what I would personally recommend. Beautiful scenery, super accessible. You're looking at about 50 minutes or an hour's drive out of the city centre itself. And then yeah, 2-3 days exploring the centre is also really good. Obviously I love a beer, partial to a little brewery, but overall gets the GW seal of approval, straight out of 10. Sydney up next. If you enjoy what you see, hit that subscribe button. Still en route to 2k subs. I'll see you tomorrow, baby, because it's daily vlogs at the minute. And remember, the chef is always cooking.